Okay, thank you for tuning into this live session. So it's 3:30 p.m. UK time. So it's 17th of June 2024. Thank you, Peter, for confirming that. So beginning on the DXY, nothing much has changed since our last call. Bit of consolidation out of this 4-hour supply. As I've said, could come down into there, at which point could be a nice opportunity to buy the dollar once more. If it doesn't do that, then it could just blast straight through here and then reach these highs, and then whatever it does from there we'll have to monitor. But I wouldn't be shocked if we do take out those highs and then that high over here as well. So as I said on 1:30 p.m.'s live session, I was going to go over silver and gold. So we'll go over silver to begin with. So zooming out onto the weekly time frame. Actually, let's go to the 12-month first of all. Let's take these off the 12-month time frame. Same with that. Okay, so the 12-month, so the yearly time frame, we've obviously ran into this area. Significant level of resistance. So 30.91. So $30.91 per ounce of silver. That's a yearly resistance taken from those two bodies together right there. You can see price wicked into it once more in 2012, 2013, wicked into it, rejected. We've now revisited this area. So it's a quite significant area. I do think we will eventually close above this. When we will do that, I don't know. But I am bullish on silver overall. Going on to the monthly. This was the monthly bullish structure that's printed. We've got the low, the high, higher low, higher high right there. We've got a monthly imbalance down here, which could be attracting price on a monthly perspective to achieve that discount to then go higher. On a weekly standpoint, we are currently sitting within this weekly imbalance. We've also tapped into these weekly bodies as support. Was once resistance, now potential support. So we could have a short-term burst to the upside before we continue down. We do have that weekly imbalance there as well, with a weekly order block or a weekly demand. So the last bearish candle before the bullish move right there. Going into the daily, we can also see the fact that we are coming out of this daily imbalance that is within this weekly imbalance right here. Okay, so prices come down. It actually left a nice high, actually a nice low, sorry, above the daily imbalance. So obviously what's that done? It's induced buyers into the market, giving the market a reason to come back down to mitigate this daily area. If we go down into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this internal high has been broken right there, and we've had a pullback. I am expecting higher prices on silver. I'm expecting for price to come into at least here. And the nice thing about this is we've got a 4-hour imbalance right there with the yearly resistance, the yearly bodies that we just spoke about is going straight through it. So I do think price can retest there once more, because that's also aligning within a premium of this 4-hour bearish leg, like so. Okay, and also something I'm just noticing now live on the call with you guys and girls is the fact that this 2-5 extension aligns with this weekly imbalance. So that's very, very nice. All right, so this is all technical analysis, and sometimes we do see things align, and when we do, it can give us a bit of a hint ahead of time as to what may happen or what has a likelihood of happening. So this is just one of those things. So number one, we've got the 4-hour imbalance up here within premium prices. We've got the yearly resistance running straight through it. So again, just to recap, that is those bodies on a yearly time frame. That there was printed originally in 2010. Yeah, so we've had that 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th year of rejection out of this area. 4th year of rejection. So obviously we've got 6 months left of this yearly candle. So it might be a yearly close where we sort of come down here and then leave a wick to the upside. And then the following year, 2025, that could be the year to finally close above here potentially. So obviously I don't know that for sure, but you know, it's sometimes good to write scenarios out in your brain and have some certain things that could happen. If this was to happen, what would you do? If that was to happen, what would you do? That sort of thing. So back to the 4 hour then. What I want to see next for this to continue up is a closure above this high on a 4 hour time frame. We do have 2 hours and 23 minutes of this current candle to close. We've also printed a 4 hour 3 pin, which was out of a discount of that miniature bullish leg, came into 5618 zone, 4 hour 3 pin, potential continuation to the upside. So yeah, that 4 hour imbalance is something I'm looking at. This high right here, I'm looking at as liquidity because it is resting below the imbalance. So it could be used. So for people that have gone short, they potentially might have their stop losses above this high. They might see that as a swing high, when in actual fact it could just be an internal high to this external bearish leg. So from the high down into the low. And then price could just violate that, come into here, and then potentially roll to the downside. On the daily as well, you can see I've got that marked on right there, just as a sort of barrier for price to potentially come into if it wants to. So that's pretty much it, what I'm looking for. There was a potential entry on this. It's something I've marked up. So all I did was I waited for a 30-minute break of structure. Right here, this is the entry, by the way, sniper entry. 30-minute break of structure. We had that break of structure right there. This then became the 30-minute demand. Okay, so this entire area. Then I waited for a 4-minute break, which we had right there. Then when we came into there, I waited for a 1-minute break, which is what we had right there, which then this became the entry, this entire bearish leg down. Stop below here, you can see that would be running in some really, really nice profits. So this is just something I'm getting used to. This way of looking at the markets. So that area right there would be a break-even point, that high. Right there, and I've actually got this marked up on IC markets. You can see I've got some things down here. This is IC markets markups. The reason why I've got it marked up on IC markets is because I personally use IC markets for my personal trading account. So I like to get the exact figures of the price basically. So yeah, all is good, all is well. TP1 would be that high right there, and then TP2 is the bottom of that 4 hour imbalance, as you can see. So TP1, TP2, break-even point. So to TP1, I believe, is a 1 to 14. Yeah, so 1 to 14 up into that high, and then up to there is like a 1 to 18, 1 to 17, something like that. Yeah, so really, really nice. And this is something I've been back tested on silver actually, and it does work out really, really nicely. There's been some really, really nice trades using this style. They don't come around every day, but when they do, it's worth waiting for. I'll just give you a couple of examples because I've got them marked up on here. There was one here as well, same thing. This was a 16-hour trade. So on the left-hand side, I'm just going to highlight the 4 hour time frame. On the right-hand side, this is the lower time frame. So 4 hour, lower time frame. Same thing if we'd have targeted. So this blue line right here. So if I just make that really thick. Same thing there, look. So that's that right there. Which is what? A 4 hour imbalance. So these are just targets that I've been looking at to target. That would have been a 16-hour trade. and then to that higher one right there, which is this blue line, would have been 1 to 27. And then obviously, as we know, it just absolutely blasted through, which realistically, are you going to hold it all the way? Probably not. But that achieved a 1 to 128. Again, very, very unrealistic that you're going to hold that, because it's kind of like, where do you hold it to? But obviously, there were areas looking to the left on a monthly perspective and on a weekly perspective. But still, 16-hour trade to TP1, not bad. Similar to this setup here, we've got a 13-hour setup to TP1. Again, really, really good. Not this one here, sorry. IC markets. Yeah, so 13.85 to TP1. So we'll see what happens with that. We can update and come back to this on tomorrow's live session as well to see where we are with the markups and all the rest of it. So let's go through gold. Okay, so scaling out to the 12-month on gold. Just get rid of these a moment. Nothing much else to discuss really on the 12-month time frame other than the fact that it's very, very bullish. We can all see that. This is the highest high of all time. So down into the monthly. We've got monthly support right there. We've got a monthly imbalance. We've got 5618. Okay. Also got the psychological level of 2000 around this region right here, which you can see has been used many, many, many times. Was used here, 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 and here. So if price did want to do a pullback, 2000 area could be a really nice area to buy it out of, because looking at that, that's just simple support and resistance, break and retest, something like that. Okay, so that's on a monthly standpoint, monthly perspective. Down to the weekly, we're still coming out of this weekly imbalance, still coming out of that weekly, much like silver. So we've still got reason to go to the upside, in other words. And then on the daily time frame, there's nothing to the left in terms of imbalances. Let's have a look at 4 hour. Again, not really much to the left in terms of fresh imbalances. But the fact that we're coming out of this weekly, it could start to go higher and then disrespect this bearish 4 hour structure that's printed. Obviously, the only thing I'd need to see to confirm that would be a closure above this high on a 4 hour time frame. At the moment, though, we've only got this to contend with. We could have a reaction from here to continue down. Okay. Which, in a way, could align with the DXY wanting to continue higher, or the analysis of the continuation to the upside on the dollar. If that was the case, then this could be in for a slight pullback. So obviously this is traded against the dollar. Okay. Other than that, let's have a look at the 1 hour. Obviously, we've put in that high right there. We've had a higher low. We don't know that's a higher low just yet, though, because we've not broke above that high. This is just a low in the market. It could come down lower. There's not really much I want to discuss other than what we've discussed, really, because these are the higher time frame areas. All of this is just noise in the middle, in my opinion. There might have been a trade or an opportunity to go long. Out of here, let's just have a look, although I wouldn't have taken it. The reason why I don't like this as well is on the weekly, if you remember last week, I said about this closure below this low. But it's important to not take these things as gospel, because we need to remember these are just hints that the market gives. It's not like it's saying, right, it's closed below. It 100% has to come down. That's not how it works. Like, if we see this, price created this, and then price closed above, and then look what happened. It just completely reversed. Well, not completely, but it did reverse off of there, down into there, and closed below that one. So that could be next on the cards potentially. I'm actually going to put a horizontal line there instead of a trend line. So this is our weekly resistance right at the high. Okay, so 2,414. On the daily as well, got daily resistance. Could be magnetized up towards there. Okay. Hourly. Just going back to the hourly a moment. There was a 4-hour imbalance coming out of here as well, which I did notice. Right there, look. Oh, sorry, wrong one. 4-hour imbalance. Right there. Price came back through. So this was printed last Monday. So Monday the 10th. Price came to respect that. Moved away. Respected it once more. Moved away. So in this case here, what we'd want to see is a 15-minute break. We have actually seen that. That was another markup as well, by the way. I think that was coming out of this, which unfortunately came back to entry. I was just targeting that 4-hour area. Still went into a decent profit, 1 to 6.8. So the 15-minute high has been broken. We can see that. You can even class that on there as well, I guess, but we'll class that high right there. And then in this case, what we'd want to see, so obviously this then becomes the 15-minute demand. And then we want to go to the 3-minute and then sort of identify where price broke structure on a 3-minute. We had one there. Had one there as well. This would have been favourable though, because this is London session. All of this is Asia session. So I'd have been asleep when this would have been happening. Had a break there, so that's the high, the low, a break. This then becomes the 3-minute demand. Okay. And then you can go lower. It depends on how accurate you want to be. That could have been a position right there. Maybe stop below the 15-minute candle or stop below there, depending on how risky you want to be. So that's pretty much it, what I'm looking at on gold. Nothing really else to discuss. One thing we do have as well is this 4-hour imbalance right there, which could be a nice opportunity to go long again if we did retest that. It looks like it tapped into it there, but it didn't. If we zoom right in, you can see that we're just hovering above, which could be even more reason for it to want to come back down into that. Because people that have gone long, they're obviously going to be able to stop below here. What do we have below there? A 4-hour imbalance. That's interesting. I'm just going to put an alert on that. That also aligns within a discount of this leg from the low to the high. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I was looking at NAS 100 as well. Similar concepts to what I was just looking at on silver and gold. We've tapped into that daily area right there. And then coming out of there, we've got the 30-minute break. Again, these are just markups, something I'm just getting used to, this way of looking at the markets. This one would have failed. We had a 4-minute break within the 30-minute demand. Prices come back into the 30-minute demand, and then on the 4-minute, we've broken structure right there. Which then this becomes our 4-minute demand, and then into the 1-minute. At the moment, I'd need to see that high to be taken before anything. But the only thing with this is we're at highest highs of all time. So I myself haven't got that much experience with NAS 100. So my only other sort of idea was the fact to just target a round number. You've got 20k up there. That would have been a 9 to 1, nearly an 8.9 to 1. Obviously, yeah, like I say, we are quite high up in the leg. Highest highs of all time. So, yeah, could be a good opportunity to capitalise on this, though. You've got a 4-hour imbalance right there as well. Okay, at which point you need to see a 15-minute break. So that high right there would need to be taken. So yeah, all's looking good. All's looking good. So yeah, like I say, I'll update you on the silver trade tomorrow. USD CAD. Let's have a look at USD CAD. We didn't go over USD CAD. So the daily. Let's go to the monthly. Okay, so 12-month. We're running into that 12-month resistance that I'm actually going to mark on there, to be honest. Yearly res. So yearly resistance, we've wicked into it once, twice, 3 times. This is the 4th year of rejection. So is this now the time where price wants to close above and continue higher, or is it going to reject it one more time and come to the downside? Onto the monthly. We can see how that sort of makes sense now, looking at that on a monthly perspective, because you've got a yearly created here, wicked into it, wicked into it, wicked into it, has wicked into it again a couple of months ago. In April, it wicked into that exact area. If I zoom in, you'll see that a bit clearer. Just there, look, wicked into it again. Price has now created its own monthly resistance off the back of this, which price is now at or reacting from currently as we speak at these highs. So if the bearish sentiment was to sort of follow through, then we could see that come down. On a weekly standpoint, bearish candle closure last week. You can see the candle before that, it was very, very bullish, but it didn't close above these highs at all. It just sort of went up into the high. And then this candle wicked into the monthly resistance. You can see there, monthly resistance, and it's come back down. We tapped into that monthly area as well. This is the weekly area, sorry. We tapped into that weekly area right there, because we're on a weekly time frame at the moment. And we sprang to the upside, okay? So let's go down one more time frame. Actually, what I want to do... Oh, sorry. What I want to do is... I'm going to update that level right there, because that's now a weekly area. Weekly resistance. So those two bodies there. Price could want to just come back up, come back into there, and then roll over. It could want to do that back into here. USD CAD can be a very sideways pair, meaning it can just go up and down from level to level without actually going anywhere long term. You can see this massive range it's been in since 2022, just up and down, up and down, up and down. But that's not to say there's not been any opportunity. Sometimes there is a lot of opportunity when price does that. So this is the daily time frame now. You can see we've got a daily level overcrossing a weekly level, which I'm going to leave both of them on. So Friday's candle there, bearish candle into the high, rejection, closed bearish. Obviously today is Monday, price could be wanting to revisit this before we continue to the downside potentially. The only thing that disregards that idea is the fact that we are bullish in terms of market structure. We've got the low, the high, high, low, high, high. We've also come into a discount here. We've got the low, the high, discount. Okay, obviously, like I've just said, we are coming out of this yearly resistance. So this could just be a big pullback to then continue to the downside. We've got this weekly imbalance to the low, don't forget, with all of this liquidity as well. So if I go back to the weekly, you'll see that. Down into here. Oh, sorry. Down into here. There isn't another weekly imbalance within this entire leg. This is the only one that's fresh, that's out in the open. It's got all of this liquidity above. It's down here. So it could do something like this again, where it starts to just bounce around. It could come up to here, to come back down into here, to then do whatever it wants. But this is an area in which I'm looking at. If we come into there, that would be a good area to buy from, obviously. If we get the right confirmations, that is. So to the daily, again, once more, you can see that price reacted from this daily support handle, these two bodies. Price respected it there, came down, closed below. Bearish candle, bullish engulfing, coming straight through that. Price then using it once more as support, came through, closed above, bullish, wick into that, bearish, and then currently bullish. So on the 4 hour as well, we can see that we are bullish on this time frame too, following this structure. So we had the high, the low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Price broke that most recent structure point. 4 hour break. So therefore then this became the new 4 hour leg. So from this low to that high right there, price comes into a discount. You can see 50% there. Also coinciding with the weekly support. Lovely reaction out of there. We've got a 2.5 extension. I'm just looking at this right now live with you guys, that I'm understanding, is the fact that this 2.5 extension aligns closely to this yearly resistance. So is this yearly resistance going to be tapped one more time? It could do. It really, really could do. So that's pretty much it. That wraps this live session up. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment on this video, because these do get uploaded to YouTube. Or you can just put your question in Discord and I can just answer it live. But other than that, keep an eye out for the trades as always. I think we're running at about 1.6% profit for the month so far in total, which isn't bad, but it's not the greatest at the same time. Having said that, it could be a lot worse. You know, this is trading at the end of the day. It's not an ATM machine, and this is what we try and teach here, you know, at UK Trading Academy. But it's all about following the process, sticking to the risk management, the money management, trade management, and over time, that's when the results will come. Okay. So without further ado, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's live sessions. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.